Imagine waking up every day feeling calm, grounded, and ready to take on whatever life throws at you. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if I told you that it's possible to make that your reality? How we begin our mornings can shape the entire course of our day, and if we do it right, it can also transform our lives. In Buddhism, mornings are seen as a sacred opportunity to reset and cultivate a state of peace, clarity, and purpose. The habits we build in the early hours of the day have the power to influence our mental, physical, and spiritual well-being, not just for today, but for the rest of our lives. If you've ever started your day feeling rushed, stressed, or overwhelmed, you know how it can affect your entire mood and productivity. On the other hand, if you start your day with mindfulness, intention, and gratitude, you set yourself up for a day of focus, peace, and purpose. In this video, we're going to explore 6 powerful morning habits inspired by Buddhist teachings that will help you begin your day with calm and clarity. These are simple practices that can lead to profound changes in how you approach your day and your life. Whether you're looking to boost productivity, reduce stress, or simply feel more at peace, these habits will help you cultivate the life you've always wanted. Are you ready to transform your mornings and ultimately your life? Let's dive in. 1. Mindful breathing, the foundation of a calm mind. One of the most foundational practices in Buddhism is mindfulness. Buddha often spoke about the mind being like a garden that needs nurturing. If left unattended, weeds of stress, distraction, and anxiety can overtake it. The practice of mindful breathing serves as a gentle and effective way to cultivate that nurturing space, especially in the morning when our minds are most susceptible to being scattered. Mindful breathing is simple. It's about focusing your attention on the act of breathing, observing each inhale and exhale without judgment. When we wake up, it's easy for our minds to jump to the day ahead. Emails, meetings, deadlines, and to-do lists. We get caught in this whirlwind of thoughts before we've even gotten out of bed. The trick is to halt this natural reaction by focusing on the breath. By doing so, we anchor ourselves in the present moment. This practice doesn't take much time, and you don't need any special equipment. Just take a few moments after waking up to sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take deep, slow breaths. As you breathe in, focus on the sensation of air entering your lungs. As you exhale, pay attention to the feeling of release and calm. With each breath, you bring yourself back to the present, leaving the distractions of yesterday and the worries of tomorrow behind. Research on mindful breathing has shown it has powerful benefits, such as reducing stress, improving focus, and enhancing mental clarity. Studies have even suggested that practicing mindful breathing daily can lower blood pressure and increase feelings of overall well-being. The best part, it's a practice you can do anytime and anywhere, especially in the morning when you need it most. Think of it like this. Helen used to start her day by diving into her phone, overwhelmed by emails and messages the moment her eyes opened. It wasn't until she decided to take a few moments for mindful breathing that everything changed. The chaos of her day-to-day began to transform. She found clarity in the mornings, allowing her to approach her tasks with more focus and calmness. By starting your day with mindful breathing, you're not just preparing for a calm morning, you're setting the tone for a peaceful, intentional life. Tomorrow morning, take a few minutes to breathe deeply and focus on the present moment. This small habit can become a powerful tool for creating a more grounded, focused, and peaceful day. 2. Gratitude practice, shifting your focus to abundance. Gratitude is more than just a nice feeling. It's a transformative practice that Buddhism encourages in everyday life. Buddha often spoke about the importance of shifting our mindset from dissatisfaction to appreciation. In a world that constantly tells us to want more, gratitude helps us reconnect with the present moment, fostering contentment and peace. When we wake up each morning, it's easy to focus on what we don't have, what we need to do, what we want to achieve, what's missing in our lives. But Buddha taught that if we focus on what we already have, we can shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Starting each day with gratitude is a simple yet profound practice that has the power to transform our outlook on life. Start by identifying 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. Perhaps you're thankful for a good night's sleep, a warm cup of tea, or the love of your family. As you reflect on these things, feel the shift in your heart. Gratitude opens our eyes to the beauty in the everyday moments that we often take for granted. Research has shown that practicing gratitude has significant mental and physical health benefits. People who express gratitude regularly tend to have stronger immune systems, lower blood pressure, and reduced levels of anxiety. Gratitude can even improve your sleep quality. But the most profound benefit? It helps shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, fostering feelings of abundance, peace, and satisfaction. Robert was once a man caught in the trap of dissatisfaction. Despite having a successful career, he often felt overwhelmed and stressed. It wasn't until he learned about gratitude through Buddhist teachings that things started to change. Each morning, Robert began by listing 3 things he was grateful for. Slowly but surely, his mindset shifted. The small joys in life, once overlooked, became his focal point. By practicing gratitude, Robert found himself more resilient in the face of challenges. Incorporating gratitude into your morning routine is a simple but powerful habit. Tomorrow morning, take a moment to think of 3 things you're grateful for. By focusing on the abundance around you, you will start your day with a sense of peace and joy that will carry throughout the day. Number 3. Compassion. The key to inner peace and connection. Buddhism teaches us that compassion is at the heart of living a peaceful and meaningful life. Compassion isn't just about feeling sorry for others. It's about understanding that we are all interconnected. When we show compassion, we open our hearts and minds to the struggles of others, as well as our own. It's a practice that deepens our connection to ourselves and the world around us. Buddha's teachings about compassion are profound. In one well-known story, a man approached Buddha in anger and spat in his face. Rather than reacting with hate, Buddha calmly wiped his face and asked, "Is that all, or do you have more to say?" This simple act of compassion, responding to hate with love, completely transformed the man's heart. It's a powerful reminder that our response to negativity can change everything. To start your day with compassion, take a few moments in the morning to practice loving-kindness meditation. Begin by sitting quietly, visualizing someone you love, and silently repeating phrases like, "May you be happy," "May you be healthy," "May you be safe." Then, extend this compassion to others, friends, acquaintances, or even strangers, and finally, offer compassion to yourself. This practice nurtures not only others, but also your soul, freeing you from negative emotions like anger and judgment. Research has shown that practicing compassion improves both emotional and physical health. It increases the production of oxytocin, a hormone that fosters bonding and reduces stress. Compassion also leads to greater emotional resilience, higher life satisfaction, and reduced anxiety. The act of sending compassion to others builds deeper connections, fostering a sense of community and shared humanity. Lara, a healthcare worker, found that after incorporating compassion meditation into her morning routine, her approach to her patients changed. She felt more connected to them, more resilient in the face of stress, and at greater peace with herself. The simple act of starting the day with compassion transformed her entire career and life. By practicing compassion each morning, you set the tone for a peaceful, loving day. Tomorrow morning, after your other morning practices, take a moment to send kindness to those around you and yourself. This habit can create a profound sense of peace and fulfillment that extends far beyond your morning routine. Number 4. Setting intentions, bringing clarity and focus to your day. In Buddhism, the concept of right intention is central to the path of wisdom. Right intention is about aligning our thoughts and actions with our deepest values: mindfulness, kindness, and compassion. It's about choosing to act with purpose, even when life throws challenges our way. Setting intentions is a powerful practice that can help guide your day. Instead of rushing into the day's tasks or reacting to whatever comes your way, you can set a clear intention about how you want to show up. Whether it's being calm, patient, or focused, setting an intention helps you navigate the day with greater clarity and mindfulness. Jack, a teacher, used to wake up feeling overwhelmed by his workload. His mornings were rushed, and by the time he got to work, he already felt drained. But once he started setting an intention each morning, everything changed. He would take a moment to reflect on how he wanted to show up for his students. His intention was always to be calm and present. Over time, Jack found himself becoming more focused, more patient, and more connected to his students. Setting intentions also has a scientific basis. Research shows that setting a clear intention activates the brain's reticular activating system, RAS, which helps us focus on what's important. When we set an intention, our brain filters out distractions and directs our attention to the things that align with our values. Tomorrow, after practicing mindful breathing and gratitude, take a moment to set an intention for your day. What word or phrase captures the energy you want to bring into your life today? Whether it's peace, focus, or patience, this simple practice will keep you grounded and aligned with your true self. The 5. Mindful movement, connecting mind and body. In Buddhism, the body is viewed as a sacred space. Mindful movement, whether through yoga, stretching, or walking, honors the deep connection between the mind and the body. It's a way of bringing mindfulness into physical actions, grounding us in the present moment while strengthening our connection to our bodies. Mindful movement is often overlooked in modern society, but it's just as important as meditation. Buddha's followers practiced walking meditation, moving slowly and mindfully with each step. This practice helps us become aware of how our bodies feel and brings us back to the present moment. It's a way of harmonizing mind and body, creating balance and peace. Bella, a busy mom, used to rush through her mornings without paying attention to her body. After learning about mindful movement, she began incorporating a few minutes of yoga each morning. This small change made a huge impact on her energy, stress levels, and overall presence with her children. Research shows that mindful movement can reduce stress, improve circulation, and boost mental clarity. Practices like yoga and Tai Chi have been shown to enhance brain function and improve emotional well-being. The act of connecting with our bodies mindfully helps us stay present, grounded, and centered throughout the day. Tomorrow, after your morning breathing and gratitude practices, take a few minutes to engage in mindful movement. Whether it's a few gentle stretches or a slow walk outdoors, feel the sensations in your body as you move. This practice will help you connect with the present moment and set a positive tone for your day. 6. Mindful eating, savoring each bite. In the fast-paced world we live in, eating has become a rushed, often unconscious activity. We grab a quick bite on the go, distracted by work, media, or our phones. But what if we took the time to slow down and truly experience the act of eating? This is where mindful eating comes into play. In Buddhism, food is seen as more than just a source of energy. It is a gift from nature, a product of countless interconnected forces. Eating mindfully helps us recognize this and develop a deeper appreciation for both the food and the life that sustains it. Mindful eating involves being fully present in the moment as you eat. Instead of hurriedly swallowing your food, you take the time to taste it, to appreciate the textures, smells, and flavors. It's about connecting with the food in front of you and acknowledging the many hands, farmers, transporters, chefs, that have made it possible for you to enjoy that meal. There is a powerful Buddhist teaching that highlights this practice. A monk, known for his constant rush, was once reprimanded by Buddha for eating without thought. Buddha asked, "When you eat, are you truly tasting your food, or are you just filling your stomach?" The monk, realizing he had been absent-minded during meals, began to practice mindful eating. He noticed how each bite tasted, the nourishment he was receiving, and how the act of eating became a meditative process, helping him remain present in the moment. Eating mindfully offers a moment of reflection, a time to be grateful for the meal and everything that has gone into making it. It encourages us to slow down, to be in tune with our bodies, and to recognize the essential act of nourishing ourselves. The practice helps us cultivate patience and gratitude, acknowledging that food is not just fuel, but a form of sustenance for the soul. The science behind mindful eating research has shown that mindful eating can have significant benefits on both our physical and mental health. When we eat mindfully, we are more likely to make healthier food choices. By focusing on the present moment and truly savoring our food, we are less likely to overeat, as we become more attuned to our body's cues of hunger and satiety. Mindful eating can also improve digestion by reducing the stress that often comes with eating in a rush. Studies suggest that when we eat mindfully, our bodies are better able to absorb nutrients, and we are less likely to suffer from digestive discomfort. Furthermore, mindful eating helps to reduce emotional eating. Many people eat to cope with stress, boredom, or negative emotions. By practicing mindfulness, we break this cycle. Instead of using food as a way to numb our feelings, we learn to be fully present with our emotions and respond to them in healthier ways. This practice fosters a deeper connection with our bodies and helps us develop a more balanced and harmonious relationship with food. Mindful eating and gratitude. One of the most profound aspects of mindful eating is the sense of gratitude it fosters. In Buddhism, gratitude is a central practice, and eating mindfully is one way to cultivate this virtue. When we eat mindfully, we become more aware of the interconnectedness of all life. We begin to see how the food on our plate is the result of countless hours of work, the cooperation of nature, and the efforts of people we may never meet. This awareness creates a sense of humility and appreciation. For example, before you take your first bite, pause and reflect on the journey of your food. Think about the farmers who planted the crops, the earth that nourished them, the weather that supported their growth, and the people who transported and prepared them. This simple practice transforms an ordinary meal into an opportunity for deep gratitude. As you eat, savor each bite and appreciate the nourishment it provides, both for your body and your spirit. A personal story of mindful eating. Nick, a busy professional, used to eat breakfast in a rush. He grabbed whatever was quick, often eating in front of his computer, distracted by emails and work. He noticed that after these meals, he often felt sluggish, disconnected, and sometimes even irritated. But after attending a mindfulness retreat, Nick decided to try eating mindfully. He started taking time for his meals, sitting at the table and focusing on each bite. He noticed the change immediately. Not only did he feel more energized, but he also became more attuned to his body's needs. Over time, he began to enjoy meals more, feeling a deeper sense of satisfaction from the food and from the simple act of nourishing himself. Nick's story is a reminder of how powerful mindful eating can be. It isn't just about slowing down, it's about appreciating the process and the gift of food itself. The simple practice of eating with awareness can have a profound impact on your physical health, emotional well-being, and spiritual growth. Takeaway: incorporating mindful eating into your daily routine is an act of self-care that can bring a wealth of benefits. Tomorrow, as you eat, slow down and savor every bite. Focus on the flavors, textures, and sensations. Take a moment to appreciate where your food came from and the many forces that brought it to your table. By doing so, you'll not only enhance your physical health, but also deepen your connection to the present moment and the world around you. Mindful eating is a simple yet powerful practice that allows you to experience your food in a more meaningful way. It transforms the mundane act of eating into a practice of mindfulness, gratitude, and connection. As you incorporate this practice into your mornings, you'll find that it not only nourishes your body, but also nourishes your soul, setting a peaceful and grounded tone for the rest of your day. By incorporating these 6 habits into your morning routine, you can cultivate a life of peace, mindfulness, and purpose. Mindful breathing, gratitude, compassion, setting intentions, mindful movement, and mindful eating are all practices that can transform your mornings and, by extension, your entire life. Remember, the way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Small changes, like taking a few deep breaths or setting an intention, can have a profound impact on your mindset and well-being. Start tomorrow with intention. Take the first step towards a more peaceful, mindful, and fulfilling life. And as you practice these habits, remember that each day is a new opportunity to cultivate peace and presence. May you find calm, focus, and gratitude in every moment.